Beneath the Sun by Michael Hudson Arnold. Anderson, Cooper, and Thomas sit on the bench at the end of the scrabbled beach walk leading to their rental. The breakers slam onto the beach, and each man can feel the impact in their aged feet that are differing in shades from pale to tan. The limited parking in front of the house upon the pavers already has 2 Buicks and a Cadillac with differing shades of sherbet. The class of 1959, those interested and or alive, will meet at this house, spend hours upon the beach trying to remember who they thought they loved and who they thought they hated, neither being wholly true, neither being wholly accessible. Somewhere between the love and the hate was the truth, but over time it comes down to feel. Even with the clear sky, the 78 degrees, materials and wealth accumulated and stockpiled for days such as these in retirement, connecting with those known 50 years ago is like starlight. Thousands of years to reach a pair of eyes, a signal sent from a star that is no more. Margaret walks up to the boys and turns her ankle a bit upon a corner of the hexagonal stones in the walk. They had not seen, but even if they had, she has learned what to do with wounded pride. "A bunch of people are here. Artie is, well, Artie still." The 3 men groan to varying degrees as they turn. Margaret. She had a child one summer and came back to school without it. Thomas was one of the few who spoke to her until she was forgiven by most of her contemporaries. He is not awarded any special attention for that kindness half a century ago. In truth, his kindness only reminds her of that other misstep beneath the boy who whispered, "I love you," into her ready ear. "What are you doing? Finding the meaning of life in the ocean? Lunch is ready. Come back in." And she turns and walks back, worry of her ankle, making her footsteps as slow as a cat's on foreign floors. Anderson made his money, sitting among other people's money. His feet are almost pink in their painful exposure to the sunlight. His heels feel foreign and out of place in the sand. The lower parts of his calves have a permanent indentation where his tight black socks add to his costume of banker. "The ocean is an economy. Compete for resources, but keep it ever growing and sustainable. That's pretty much it." And his short-sleeved, collared, and buttoned shirt is pulled and then wiped by his spread fingers so that no grains of sand might remain. A nest of white hair surrounds the top of his pink head like a vulnerable and valuable egg. Cooper sits between Anderson and Thomas and accentuates his being short with poor posture. His feet are short and broad compared to the other men. His work has a modicum of labor and has made his arms and limbs thick with both fat and muscle. Sometimes labor requires the sacrifice of health to celebrate the ending of a day. Beer, meat, fried things, repeat. Cooper helped to machine, sell, and install water filtration systems for commercial businesses. Expressing what he does for a living does not foment interest within the listener, so he keeps it to himself. With his boat, friends and family clamoring to be aboard once a month, and even with the blue in his veins riding across his feet like Martian canals, his toes have been rinsed by sunlight often enough. "The ocean's a hierarchy. It is the drama of existence beneath those waters. Eat or be eaten, you know." Thomas has brown feet, and the thin strands of gray hair are long and pushed back over his scalp. He is a park ranger of an area that has a 7.2-mile stretch of beach. He has a covetous brand of poverty. His diet is coffee, fruit, peanut butter, and eggs, but the scenery boasts stretches of beach that are often without another human being. Some women have been attracted to his lean frame and sublimated existence. Then they remember that materials are good, and Thomas won't be getting his hands on any of these anytime soon. "Bubbles," he says, and he looks out, watches a pelican skimming the surface of the ocean, turning and touching the water with its dark wing because it can. "Okay, let's eat. Anderson stands. Thomas has gotten weird. Just because you knew somebody 50 years ago doesn't mean you do now. Lives in a tent. Who does that? Bubbles. Ugh. Bubbles? Thomas? Really? And Cooper always liked Thomas more than Anderson did. Thomas was that guy who shouldn't be as happy as he is because where he came from and where he's going wasn't as cushy as what others had and would have had. But Thomas didn't seem to know or care. He was utterly comfortable in his skin and didn't seem to fear or begrudge others their success. Hey, get back here. And Anderson huffs, but takes the 2 steps back. All right, Bubbles, what of them? And Anderson's words are sharp, officious, and have a deliberate edge. He is hungry and angry, hangry. We are the bubbles in the sea foam, swelling beneath the sunlight until we pop, descend back into the ocean and give others a chance to be, and Thomas's toes dig into the cool sand. Anderson and Cooper stand with mouths agape until Anderson finally says, "Damn." They hear laughter behind them as the group begins to swell. Cooper stands and takes a couple steps toward the ocean. He turns over his shoulder. Anything else? Yeah, we are to be in concert with all things and be content. And after saying this, Thomas bends down, rolls up his pant legs, stands, and walks toward the water. Anderson follows without sound.